Alright guys, so what I want to do is I want to give you a Midway tour of my mini camper van and where I'm at right now. It's actually fully functional. It doesn't have all the bells and whistles that I want in it yet, but it is fully functional, and I'm prepping it for a trip to Lone Pine pretty soon. So I wanted to just show you guys where I'm at, and I have made some changes since the last videos that you saw when I did things, so there are little bit differences here and there, and one of the main differences is that this is painted, and my wife recommended that I painted it, and she knows what looks good. Anyways, so this is my countertop cabinet that I have right here. I have a mini closet where I have my clothes. I can hang up right here, and inside the mini closet I have my battery box, my power box, and there's solar panels up top. Here's the power panel. There's USB ports here, 2 USB ports, a cigarette lighter type port, a voltmeter so you know how much voltage you got. I have an inverter right here that's normally off, and you turn it on when you need it. So another thing I did, and if you saw one of my previous videos, I made this slot specifically for this camping guitar that I made, and you can see, you can click on the video up there if you want to see the build for this. But one thing I had to do, because this guitar is too big, is I had to cut the headstock. So it used to be this big. I cut it down and brought down the tuning pegs lower so that it would be smaller and fit in here. I put carpeting here so it'll be soft for the guitar, and now it actually fits just perfect. So there's not much room for error. Here you can see the plumbing that I have for the sink, which I'll show you in a little bit. You can see some of the plumbing, and that goes down underneath the car. Here's my oil drain pea potty that I showed you guys all in a different video. You can check out that if you like. So one thing I don't have in this car right now is my clothes and things like that for the trip, but I have some clothes and stuff here, and have more things hanging. Another thing I added is this extra table right there, and it uses these hinges, and I'll leave a link for these hinges. These are great. I mean, I used them for a few things already, and they work great. They hold a lot of weight, and they allow you to fold things away real nice and clean. If you come up here, you'll see I have the wiring for my solar panel that goes through here, comes down and goes out through here. You want to take a look at my solar panels. It's over here. It's up on this cargo tray. So it's pretty stealth. Nobody even knows I have it. Come on over here. You'll see I have my sink. A very big sink that I double as storage, and one of the things I wanted to do was to get a really big sink so it can double as storage when I'm traveling. When I'm not using it as a sink, I can store a bunch of stuff in it. The water container is right here. I made this tray for the water container. It's a 6-gallon Ozark water container. It goes right there. There's a water pump right here, and that'll pump the water, and it goes out here, and I'll show you how that works in a second. So if we go around, okay, so I took a few things out just so that I could show you guys the sink in action. And the sink is just a normal big kitchen sink, and if I turn on the pump right here, the pump has a pressure sensor, so when it's not on, the pump will turn off, but there's a lot of air in the tubes right now, and that's what it's trying to get out. So it just goes like that, and it drains, and I showed you guys the drain. See, so when you turn it off, it goes off, but I'll leave it off for the most part unless I'm using it. It was still wanting to go a little bit because there was air in the tubes, which once you clear out all the air, it won't do that. So again, all this stuff I could double the sink as storage. There's a nice tray underneath so that all these things, even though I just use the sink, everything's going to stay dry for the most part because of that metal tray that everything's on top of. Over here, so here's the sink. It goes right here. I have these little plastic drawers that I'm able to use. Oops, the fork is stuck there with the little space that's here. You know, chopsticks. I got assorted stuff. Here I have this refrigerator, Lincion refrigerator. It works really well. It doesn't even use that much power. You know, that's all connected to my system. Over here, I painted everything. This used to be black, and it's basically a tool chest drawers. So right now I got a bunch of junk in here. You know, it's just not really clean. But down here, which is real nice, I have my tray of my kitchen stuff that's a little bit bigger than a normal drawer, so I keep it in here, the pots and the pans and things like that. And that closes like that pretty nicely. So here, what we have is the bed, and you can look down here. Underneath the bed, we have, you know, all this storage space, which I haven't stocked it up yet, but I can put my gear there. I can put my gear over here on this side too. It's a larger container. And if you look through, you could see it opens up on the other side too. So the gear that I put in here, I could access it in the car, you know, without having to get out of the car or anything like that. I could still access it. How's it going? Good. So this is the bed. So right now, what we have for this bed, it's actually, I have 2 mattresses on this bed right now, and I just wanted to show you how I could transform this into my second bed if I want to travel with 2 people. But you know, it looks like it's just a single bed, but what I can do is this unscrews very easily. So it comes off, which is very nice. Now whoever sleeps up here won't have to, you know, deal with that faucet. But what I have underneath here is actually a second futon mattress, and you know, it's not for me to sleep on, but it's basically it's the same shape as this. Which is basically the same shape as this guy up here. So the second person would sleep up here, and the first person would sleep here. And you know, I'm 5'8". There's plenty of room for me. I'm at an angle, that's why I'm going back a little bit. But my 6-footer son slept on this, no problem. So back here on this side, I have this little extension, and if it was just me sleeping in this bed, I actually wouldn't need this extension, but my kids are all taller than me. I have a 6-footer, a 5'11", and a 5'10", who's holding the camera, and he's still growing, so they need this extra space. So when I'm using it, I could actually put it down like this, or put it down like that, and have this downstairs area that I have down here, and in the future I'm going to have a bathroom down here, and I'm going to have some things over here that this area will be a useful space. So I would be able to fold this down and use it without getting smacked. Underneath is this very handy removable storage, this SKB case, and the reason why I wanted to use this and not a wooden drawer pulling out is because I can easily take it out of the car and move around my campsite and get to my gear no problem. If I had a wooden drawer, I really couldn't do that. I would have to come back to the car every time to get anything from this. And it slides in. You can take a look, it fits in perfectly. And when it's not being used, again, I could either fold this up put that down, or I can have this hang over like that, and it's not going anywhere. So I think for right now, that's all I'm going to do for right now for this trip that I'm taking, because I don't want to start anything that I can't finish. But like I said, this is about the halfway mark. I have the bathroom shower that I want to make down in this area. I got the lighting I got to do, and a number of other things. I'm going to move the center console so that we can move in and out a lot easier. So that's where I'm at right now, halfway point.